Hello, my name is Wendy Dela Cruz and I'm the District Assessment Specialist. If you have any questions about this video or anything else with Aware, you can contact me at my email address, wdelac@neisd.net, or on my office phone number, 210-407-0067. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use Aware to give your students feedback on their assessment data. I'm going to go over two different methods. Both of these involve a quick view. The first one is the student incorrect response and feedback quick view, which will only give students information and feedback on their incorrect answers. And the other is the student learning standard breakdown. And this one will do an extra added step of compare across tests. And this will allow you to give feedback to students on their overall performance on each of the learning standards. Once you're in Aware, you need to drill down to a specific assessment. If you are a departmentalized teacher, you might consider whether or not you want to get data on all your students at one time, or if you want to choose a specific class period. So I'm going to go to all my students, and you can drill down to a specific assessment from there. And then in order to maximize the amount of space that I can see at one time, I am going to use my favorite little trick right here, which is to click on this arrow next to the Aware symbol right above the Analyze button, and that will collapse this navigation pane, and I don't need to use it anymore. I don't need to look at it anymore because I'm not going to be switching between tests. So I'm going to collapse that. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is, well, now that I've got my assessment data, is I'm going to come up here to the Quickviews, and I'm going to come down to this one, Student Incorrect Response Feedback. Clicking on that will give me an easily printable view for each student. I can see the student information over here. It will filter down all the assessment questions only to the specific questions or items that they got wrong. It gives their incorrect response. It does not tell them the correct answer, so it's nice because then they can use this to go back and possibly try to correct their assessment or any other thing that you would like them, any other task you would like them to do for those. The other nice thing about it is it specifically lists the TEK, the learning standard that matched that question. It also gives them their overall percentage, how they did on all the questions for this learning standard on the assessment, and their overall score on the assessment. You can export this to Excel, or probably might be easier to export it to PDF since you're most likely going to be printing it straight from there to hand out to students. Another way you can give students feedback is another quick view, going back to the student learning standard breakdown. You've probably used this quite often, but one thing that I have found difficult when trying to use this to give students feedback is it doesn't print out very easily for the students. There's not something you can easily hand to them to give them feedback on how they did on the assessment. But if you come right over here to this button, compare across tests, clicking on that will then rotate all of the information. And now I have, here's this student's name. I have all of the TEKs. And then over to the right, their overall percentage score for that TEK. And then below that, you can see another student's percentage and performance on each of the learning standards on this assessment. You actually cannot export it to Excel. When you export it to Excel, it reverts back to the way you typically see it. So the only way that you can actually print this out in this form is to export it to PDF. So those are two quick views that you can use to give students feedback on their assessment data. I'd love to hear from you to see which you prefer and why.